Hi, everybody. I'm Yasmina of Just Say Yeah, and we are here to talk to you about what it means to love me, love life, live healthy. And of course, I have Shawuana with me.
Howdy.
Shawuana Himes of Precision Line Dance. She's
Hello.
our mental health specialist. We have here on the line also LaNetta Small-Whittle. Doo doo. And she here is coming to us with our CEO. She is a Whittle Love Early what Education Center.
Yes.
That is the name. And so she's here so we can have a rounded, we have different mindsets, same heartbeat,
Absolutely.
different viewpoints. However, we're here to talk about transitions. Now, the dictionary tells us that transitions is the process or it's moving from one condition to another. So, with that being said, we know that a lot has happened over the last few months. Transitions have happened in so many of our lives. So we're here to talk about that and just to share our experiences with you. We have to remember that transitions can be good and they can be bad. So
Right.
if we know that it's moving from one state to another, for example, good, a butterfly. Now that's a process
It is.
where it moves from one state, literally, it
Yes.
goes inside of a larva, it literally
Metamorphosis,
consumes
yes.
itself, and then it rebuilds. Now catch
Absolutely.
it consumes itself.
Yes.
Then it comes back together and it start that process. But then we
Right.
also know there's the process of, have you seen a rotten banana or a rotten piece of fruit?
Yeah.
Or a flower that's dying that you've already cut. Well, that's a process as well. It's moving from one state to the other. So
Yes.
that's what we're going to talk about. So transition, Shawuana, what does that mean to you?
Transitions. Woo, like you said, perfect example, going from one state to the other. But what also sticks out for me is that sometimes that's not comfortable for most of us. Whether it's good or bad, it's like the adjustment period of that transitioning state can be a bit overwhelming for some. It could be stressful. That adjustment period, it's a lot for us to get used to, essentially.
Yes.
So going from one state to the other, the change that happens in the midst of that, just having to adjust to it.
Ooh, I think that sounds just about right. What do you think, Lynetta?
You know, again, like Shawana said, just transition from one state to another. I think my husband really appreciates transitioning. Like I'm that same individual that he married when we were 21, and we don't have the petty arguments and the fights. And now I'm able to be that grown woman. What I forgot about
Right,
his
Love it.
right.
mama this week, but you made me mad.
Right, right.
Just look at transitioning as a bad thing, but it's actually beneficial.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
You are both
Yeah.
so absolutely right.
Exactly.
And I'm going to go ahead and speak on that subject with regards to marriage. I was thinking of the butterfly, and like you said about the petty arguments from before to now, and of course,
Yeah.
I'm saying this from the single position,
Right.
which means I've been married before. So, what happens in a lot of marriages, I'm just going to venture out to say, is they go through that process like a butterfly, literally. They go through the process and they're in now this cocoon, and in that cocoon, they're literally consuming themselves. They're
Right.
consuming themselves. There might be the arguments, there might be financial issues, there might be
Right.
health issues, there might
All
be
those.
kid issues. There's all kinds of things that are happening that can just seem like, oh, they're being consumed. And
Right.
what's beautiful, Lynetta, is
Mhm.
when, like you and your husband, you stay
Yes.
that course and you come out on the other side and you begin to fly.
Yes.
Absolutely.
You begin to fly, and that's a beautiful sight.
Yes, it is.
You also have to trust positioning in
Ooh,
your
yes.
life. When you,
That's
a lot
good.
of people, they'll go into the cocoon state and then they'll start kicking themselves out, like
Right.
having a premature labor
Ooh, yes.
through, and then it's so beautiful at the end. So just that trust.
Yes.
That's an amazing, analogy. The premature labor analogy.
I like
You
that.
can't do something too soon, it won't come out right. It won't be right and tight.
I like that. And like Netta said too, I mean, in the midst of people, they always look at it as a bad thing.
Right.
Transitioning can be good
Ooh,
for
yes.
us. And even if you may think the situation itself, as far as a person who may be going through a divorce, been there, done that, the actual transition for you may think, oh, this is just so horrible. However, it's building you at the same time in areas you may not see at the moment.
Ooh,
That
yeah.
character, a woman may be she maybe was probably put down and belittled during her marriage. And yet,
Yeah.
during the midst of it, when she's going through that transition of divorce, she's building back up her confidence. You know,
Absolutely.
getting back out there. So there's some things in that transition period that we can be thankful for in the end when it's all said and done as we go
Right.
through it. So appreciating the process. I think
Yes.
we can definitely do that.
Process is so true, and scripture lets us know that it's here a little, there a little, line upon line. We know that we go from glory to glory. We know we go from faith to
Yes.
faith. In other words,
Yes.
that tells me if I'm going from glory to glory, if I'm going from faith to faith, then that tells me it's a process. So
Absolutely.
in everything, we need to wait it out, just as LaNetta said. You never
Yeah.
know what is on the other side of
Yeah.
that,
Right.
of patiently walking out that transition, that process.
Yes.
So what are some things that have changed for you through this shut in place, I guess you can say? What has changed for you, Shawuana?
Transition. One thing, I mean, there's been several different things, but of course, work schedule. I think a lot of us have been impacted by that from being at our, 9 to 5s or when you're going out and now all of a sudden we have to shelter in place. So that adjustment to being at home, and not only that with the children, if you have little one school age children, having to adjust to their school schedule at the same time.
Right.
So that has been the transition for me from having to adjust the schedule and essentially become a homeschool teacher in a sense.
Back to that subject.
Back to that again, and I think we're gonna be there for a while. I think we're pretty much parked there for a while,
We are.
just because of the nature of the schools still being closed. But yeah, so that has been a transition for me. From I'm so used to my schedule. Going
Yes.
into the office, I'm waking up, we get in the car, we rolling, we dropping kids off. I hit the office, do my thing, pick them back up, we back at home.
Yes.
But that whole thing, we most of us have done that for years, right?
Default mode.
Yeah, default mode. That's good. But now things have changed, so that's definitely a transition that I feel that I know I'm going through, and most of us right now in this world are probably going through the same thing as well.
LaNetta Whittle, share some of your transitional, and of course, I'm going to dig a little deeper in a moment, but share some of your transitions that have happened through the course of this. Gosh, it's been many months we have.
We have.
A lot of time.
Yes. Through my transition, I had to learn how to respect time.
Ooh,
I
time.
like that.
Yes.
That's a
So,
good one.
Sometimes we'll go through life and we just rushing, and we never get a chance to just sit there
Yeah.
and be at the self. And
Yes.
I learned how to take a piece of time out of my day
Yes.
and just rest in that.
Yes.
I'm it's 10 to 15. As long as I'm resting in that time, I'm good there. So I really
That's
like
right.
that was huge for me. I'm like, get away from my door,
There you go.
put the kids down for a nap.
Yes.
So good time.
So, from what I'm hearing you say, through this time, you've really, one of the transitions you've made is truly valuing time in a greater way. Truly
Absolutely.
realizing and valuing those times of stillness, those times of quietness. That is everything.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it's precious.
It
Yes,
it
is. It's in those times that we hear.
Absolutely.
Those times we renew, we feel revived. Those are precious times. And I like what you said about even if it's just small amounts of time,
Right.
just make that time count.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yes.
And let's go, because I know you have had quite a few different transitions during this pandemic. So let us hear a few things that you have went through as far as during this time with transitioning.
So let me
So
get
yeah, how much
started.
time do we have?
All right, transitions. Yes, I have. First and foremost, let's go ahead and I mentioned this before, but I'll say it again. I did change church homes.
Yes.
No issues with my last one. Just my time had come to transition.
Yes.
So I am now part of Change Church.
Yes.
Pastor Darius Daniels.
Yes.
It's the most amazing ministry. The main
Amen.
campus is in New Jersey, and because we're in this transition of being at home, it
Right.
really is fine.
Works.
I'm getting
Right.
fed. It's the most amazing thing.
I love
So
it.
that's transition
I love
number
it.
one. Transition number two. I was working. Most of you know, I was a property manager, and
Yes.
for a company, and that company I am no longer working for.
Mm.
I'm so happy on this side of it. Going into it, I was not necessarily happy because of the way things went.
Gotcha.
Not cool.
Gotcha.
The way things went. But God is so amazing how he allows things to
Yes, he
work
is.
together for your good. And I'll
Yeah.
tell you what, when you talked about the kids being home,
Right.
there's no way I could have done this and this
Right.
being the teacher and worked
Right.
because the requirements for that position, the stress of that position with regards to what was being asked of me from my supervisor at that time, it just wouldn't have meshed. So
Got it.
God already knew.
Right.
He already knew. So with that being said, another transition that's happened is I moved.
Yeah, she did. Hey.
So I moved September 4th, and
Yes.
it's so peaceful. It's so nice. It
love
is the
it.
most amazing place, and I'm literally in my waiting place because I'm about to make this move to the ATL.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Next year. I'm moving. And
He's moving,
I'm
y'all.
out, and I'm so excited about it. So even the transition in my mind, in
Yes.
my heart, in just my way of doing things, my
Right.
perception, all of that has changed. So, another change that's happened over the last 2.5, actually 3 weeks tomorrow, I've lost 12 pounds.
Woo! Hey.
Because I said, look, I need to go to Georgia right and tight.
You heard that? Look. I love it.
So that's another transition. So I'm still moving forward in that transition. In fact, I'll say this again later, but I'm inviting some people to come on this transformation with
Yes.
me because let's get right and tight together. That's what we do.
That's right.
So those are a few of the changes that have happened in my life.
I love it.
Mhm. So COVID, although it has been and is still a horrible thing, it shows you how God truly beauty for your ashes. Like
Yes.
I cannot complain. It's been the best. Oh, and I've never went to the beach more than I've gone to the beach house more than I ever have in the last
This
few
year,
years.
yeah, this 2020 has been
So-
a beach year.
It has.
Yes.
It
I
has.
love it. Well, that's great. Now we're actually going to transition now to a break, our first break. And so
Uh-huh.
we'll be back right after this.
All right. See you soon.
See ya.
Carroll Co., the Valley's leader for no-cost energy upgrades. Now installing AC motors, Nest thermostats, insulation, and more. COVID-19 safe. Call Carroll Co. at 559-396-3939 and visit carrollco.net.
With Organic Pastures Raw Milk, you're getting a product that has been meticulously managed from grass to glass. From our pastures to our dairy, creamery, and distribution, we work hard to produce a product that is safe and clean for you.
Got lactose intolerance or dairy allergies? Discover delicious raw milk and discover dairy the way it's supposed to be. We provide tours and would love to see you. Come visit the cows, watch the milking, the cheese being made, and learn all about raw milk. We're just 20 miles south and west of Fresno, California. Call to schedule a tour at 559-846-9732. Pour yourself a glass of Crybaby wine available at the market and Sam's Italian Deli. And remember to ask for Crybaby wine at your favorite restaurant.
Hey everybody, it's Yasmina of Just Say Yeah, and I'm here with Shawuana. I'm here with LaNetta. We are talking about transition. So for those of you who have just tuned in, we're talking about transitions. And we know transitions are the act of moving from one place to the next. It's a process. Keyword here, process. And we're learning about the fact of what types of transitions have happened in our lives
Yes.
and how important transitions are. Even though, good or bad, they may be scary, which most often they are. Even though we may not know what's on the other side of that process, it's scary. That's part of that fear, right? But we keep moving forward anyway. So, LaNetta, tell us something about what you've observed as a professional in the child development area. What have you observed as far as the transitions, like from the beginning of COVID through the middle to now? What transitions have you seen with some of your students?
They do not want to be in the social distance learning setting.
Yeah.
Right.
So what I do is I have to find them like this is a part of college life also. So I'm talking to elementary age, I'm talking junior high age, and I'm like, I have to do this. So I let them know that I'm in school right now and I'm online and I show them my class. And so that lightens the fear for them. And they're like, oh, so Miss LaNetta, she goes through this also. So
Right.
for them, they're like, okay, I can do this too. And this is college? Yes, it is.
Ooh, I love it.
That's
I
right.
love it.
Yeah.
That's a very, that's powerful when you bring the commonality there.
Right.
That's
Absolutely.
powerful. You know, people want to know that they're just not out on this limb by themselves. So that's excellent. That's
right.
very good, actually.
Yes.
What are some negative things that you may have seen, and with regards to little ones through this
Okay.
transition, and maybe some tips on what we can do to help combat that?
That's good.
Well, with the schoolwork, dealing with social distance, it's important that the teachers are picking with students and that the parents really truly have a relationship with the teacher and they're keeping in mind that the child is the main focus.
Right.
So when the schoolwork and they want to do the independence work, it's important for the teacher to know, hey, mommy has to go to work. There probably be a grandmother or a provider or a cousin, that has to help them. And so they need that. If I text you, if I email you, my educator is going to be there for me. So again, with the mom and the teacher, the parents and the teacher, it's important that you have that relationship and keep that communication going to figure out how can we make this an easier process for them, because
Right.
children can handle stress. We lose it when we stress out,
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
So I remember the little ones. So that's what I would suggest to a family.
Okay,
Yes.
communication with all the legs. It's
Yeah.
like, in the body, we need our body to communicate correctly. We have neurotransmitters that are flowing through our body and, that they flow, and
right.
we need everything to connect. And if it's not receiving the signals as it ought, then you'll be off. You don't, if you're not getting the right amount of dopamine, everything needs to
difference.
connect. So if everything needs to connect inside, everything needs to connect outside. And how is that? By communication. So I
Yes.
love that. So now, Shawuana,
Yes.
mental health specialist, I know that you are on an on-call week.
Yes.
That's 7 days of 24/7 on call.
Ooh, Jesus.
Now, catch this, people. This 24 hours on call is being on call up and ready to go for people who are going through mental health concerns. So you may and will get a call at all hours,
Yeah.
not only for your caseload, but for your whole team's caseload.
Yes.
So what have you seen through these transitions, and what are some tips that you would have?
Absolutely. And this actually applies to my coworkers and actually those who we work with. So, people across the state, and this is probably everywhere, that what we've noticed is that a lot of people who are dealing with this stress, they're feeling stressed
Yeah.
over the transition that's occurring. So whatever your job may be, there's an extra added amount of stress to your life now that we're starting to see, and it's starting to affect people in a way by some people are even having to take medical leaves because of it. It's
Right.
getting that serious.
Right.
Or they're having to seek out or talk to a therapist or counselor because of the added stress. And of course, you must understand, these are people sometimes that are not even diagnosed with mental health issues.
Right.
So you can only imagine what it's doing to those who are.
Right.
So they're most of the times they're having hard times adjusting to this because they're dealing with stress, depression, anxiety. They maybe, they're schizophrenic. There's so many different things that are going on to where this pandemic has really hit them pretty hard.
Right.
And so with that, it's just like, man, we have to really, be attentive in the sense as now we're working even harder to give them, to make sure they're not isolated, in a sense they need that attention. So we have to call them a little bit more often.
Absolutely.
We have to go through more coping skills with them to make sure that they're okay. Because if not, at any point in time, they can end up in a crisis situation and be placed on a hold. And so that's very important, that why we have to make sure that we're really helping individuals. And I recommend for those of you who are experiencing these levels of stress, get the help you need. Don't keep it in. Don't stress yourself out. This is a lot going on. Talk to somebody if you need to.
That's right.
Reach out, and if you need professional help, by all means, do it. Please do it. Don't hold yourself in all this stuff. This is adjustments, a transition like we're talking about for everyone. So get the help that you need. I mean, there's so much more I could talk about in that area, but when I tell you what we start to see is that a lot of people are really taking this hard on them. They're taking it hard, and they're putting a lot of weight on themselves that they could avoid if they apply certain techniques and practical tools in their lives at this time.
So, technique and practical tool, correct me if I'm wrong, but I know I'm right. Exercise
Yeah.
is a tool.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is.
And so I am coming to you because it's what I do.
It's what she does.
To
This is what I do.
encourage you. This is what I do.
This is what I do.
This is what I do. And I'm
Yes.
coming here to encourage you
I love it.
to work out.
I love it.
Right.
Now, what does that mean? That means move. That's why a lot of times in my posts I'll put the word movement as opposed to workout, because I don't. People
Yeah,
feel
there you go.
intimidated by the word workout.
They do. They do.
Yeah.
We need your heart rate up. We need the systems in your. We need blood flow. Do you know? It's true. There's healing in the blood. Now, before I was saved, I didn't understand it. I
You
got
better say
saved,
that.
started hearing
Say
that, and it was
that.
like, what are they talking about? But
Right.
now I'm no longer a baby Christian, so I get it. And it's amazing how it all works together.
Yes.
There really is. You know, when you're breathing the breath of life, that brings oxygenated blood to your body, to your cells, which what? Brings life. So how does that happen in a better way? But by exercising.
Come on.
And it helps release the feel-good hormones in your body. So I don't know about you guys, but I do have a past, so, oh yes. I had many a
Say it ain't
feel-good additives back in the day, okay? So
feel-good
learning how to truly just float on the ones God gave us and how to release those by simply
Yes.
working out is the most amazing thing. Simply giving yourself life-giving foods,
Right.
transitions. At the beginning of the pandemic, I'm going to ask you too, how are you eating, Shawuana?
Me first?
You first.
Actually, I went in really well. I was, matter of fact, because I started at the beginning of the year.
Yes, that's
Remember,
right.
I did.
That's
And
right.
so went
That's
in,
right.
and actually from that time to the pandemic, I think I had lost like 15 pounds. So I was doing good. I was at work, bringing my food. I was
That's
doing
right.
exceptionally well. Pre-COVID. Do you want me to
Right.
talk about that after?
We're going to go to that first. Let me let all
Is
of
that
us
all, is that
catch
all
up.
I can just say right now? I just want to talk about pre-COVID.
LaNetta,
We were good.
LaNetta, how have you been? How are you going into this transitioning into COVID, nutrition
Talk to us,
wise?
Netta.
So I started, well, before COVID, I was vegan, I was living the life.
Okay.
COVID hit, I start stressing, like, wait, what? So now I'm back on my journey, the vegan side of things. So that's how I'm entering into this next transition of my
Okay.
life.
Yes.
And those of you that understand quarters, of course, in business, we're in.
Yeah.
Life is about quarters, about semesters, about trimesters, about
Yeah.
That's how life is. We are now in the last quarter of the year.
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
And so, I will say this. Oh, first I will say how I entered into it.
Yeah,
How-
yeah, exactly. Oh,
So
yeah,
you're-
I think I think
Didn't I already
remember.
say it?
No, I
didn't?
think you said it, but I think you
Dang
remember
it.
telling me.
Good girl.
Okay. Oh,
Look.
just let's be
Now, mind
transparent
you,
with the people.
all of this while still doing boot camps, still making people work out, still telling people eat right. So what was I doing? Well, I went into, okay, I feel like I'm in a confessional.
Yes.
I
Let's-
went into
let's talk to
COVID.
him.
No. I went into COVID eating so much. It was horrible. It was out of control. Literally baking every other night.
Right.
Baking's not my thing, so that's another thing. Some of you, if you remember the fiasco with the cupcakes, and I had a wonderful person by the name of Kim. She's a baker. She made me cupcakes because she saw my post on TV. I mean, on TV. Well, anyway, she saw it, and so she felt bad. But there were times that on my counter, there were, all at one time, cookies, some type of candy,
Oh.
monkey bread,
Oh.
cupcakes, some type of cake, and a brownie here and there. There was at least 2, if not 6 of these items at any given time. That whole first, 2 months of COVID. All while saying, all right, everybody, let's work out. Okay?
Oh.
That was pre-COVID.
So pre-COVID, that was transition. So, you know, which tells me that was stressful. I was in a stressful moment. And sugar is...
Yeah, that's a
Weakness.
whole other show. Yeah.
Yes. So that is how I began COVID. So, and I'm saying I'm going somewhere with this. And when we come back from this next break, I'll tell you where I'm going with this. Remember, transitions. We'll see you in a minute.
Yes.
Ghost Golf is Fresno's most spectacular family entertainment center. It's frightening how much fun you'll have on our 18-hole indoor haunted graveyard course. Skeletons welcome you, but watch out. All sorts of creatures may come to life. Ghost Golf is perfect for scary good parties, so book yours today. You'll get free plays at the Mummy Shooting Gallery, arcades, and air hockey. Check out our party and weekday specials online and like us on Facebook. Come play at family-friendly Ghost Golf. Good times will haunt you.
Leemore Movers has been moving families and communities for over 40 years, providing outstanding civilian and DoD relocations. Our specialty is providing packing, moving, and storage services for NAS Leemore military members and their families. Call 888-776-3314 and visit leemoremovers.com.
Hi, everybody. It's Yasmina of Just Say Yeah, but of course you know that, but I like saying it. And I am here talking about what it means to love me, love life, live healthy. What it means to you, what it means to us to love me, love life, live healthy. Love me, well, love me too, but love you. So we're talking about, we're talking about transitions. And of course we know that's the process of moving from one place to another. So we've given 2 examples, and that's the dying piece of fruit, transitioning to the bad place, and that's a butterfly transitioning to a good place. So we are now, we're bringing up different things. And of course, Shawuana's here with me, LaNetta's here with me, as usual, and we are just left off talking about how we transitioned into COVID with regards to our nutrition. Before we left, I was emphasizing the importance of exercise. And honestly, I'm gonna say, with all that I was eating, all the junk I ate for 2 months, and it was so much junk, thank God I was working out, because if I hadn't have been, well, that would have been another story. So working out, man, working out helped keep it together.
There you go.
So, but now we're on this end of COVID. It's kind of almost like we've settled into it.
Right.
It's kind of interesting. We've adjusted. We've this process that we're in, we understand that it is what it is. This is where we are. So now I've gotten it back together.
Back at it.
And and eating as I ought. So now on this end of COVID, or on this side, as we're transitioning through, and this is what I'm going to encourage you to do. I am now, and each one of us is going to say what we're doing, what our commitment to one another is,
Yes,
actually,
absolutely.
is to continue forward with healthy habits,
Yeah, it's good.
movement, eating as we ought, back to how things need to be. What we've realized is COVID hit hard and it was stressful.
Yes.
What do you think?
Absolutely, very stressful. And I think it's showing people in their eating habits, in their lack of movement.
Yeah.
I mean, even in the way that they interact with others. So I think it's hit hard, and I think it shows. I think some people have been able to come out of it already and make that adjustment, which we all need to do.
Yeah.
But I think some people are still in that place to where they're like, what do I need to do? I still need to, I'm stuck here in this COVID thing, and I need to make an adjustment in my life to keep going.
That's absolutely right. On the break, LaNetta was sharing with us about vegan life, and so so with her sharing that, I know she enjoys that, and so
Yes.
she said she was going to commit to what, LaNetta?
Back to eating. Because a lot of people, like you said earlier, they get intimidated with the word. So I say healthy
do.
eating, clean eating.
There you go.
I'm lactose intolerant anyway, so I'm winning on this side of things.
Yeah.
So
Yes,
just that health factor is like huge for me.
that makes sense.
Yes.
That's a good thing. You know, and everybody, it doesn't matter. Now, here's the point I wanted to make with all that. It doesn't matter how you started out the year.
That's right.
It doesn't matter where you were in the middle of the year, in the summertime, when COVID hit or what anything. It matters how you finish.
finish.
You know, greater later, right?
Yes.
So this is the last quarter of this 2020.
Yes,
Now,
it is.
more than likely, we'll be like this in 2021. But that's neither here nor there for
Yes.
you if you don't allow that to be.
Right. That's right.
You take control. You decide. You make a decision today to change. Pick
right.
one
Right.
thing at a time. In fact, that's what we're here for. Accountability. That's what, look, this says I am me. And what does it say?
Yes.
I am focused.
Yeah.
I am capable. I am powerful.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. I am. So let me tell you, you are capable. You are focused. So it starts with your mind first. It starts with your mind, how you see things, how you see yourself, your decisions you make, your perception. Make the decision, say it, see it, say it, see it, believe it, say it, then do it.
That's right.
Literally,
Right.
it's just that simple. So
good.
that's what I'm saying. That's the point I wanted to make with this transition and how
Right.
you can now just take control over that.
Yeah, I think that's good because, like you said, we're in the last quarter, and it doesn't matter how we started, but now how we're going to finish this
Yeah.
year out. And I think if we all commit to saying, you know what, I want to finish this year out stronger, I think we just gonna have to fight 2020 back, y'all. It's done some harsh things to a lot of people, right? Caused some stress and some weight gain. I think it's now time to come back and say, you know,
Oh, it
I'm
needs
gonna
the body,
finish.
too.
Yeah, get all that for us to finish strong. And I think we can all make a commitment to do that, especially when you talked about movement, Yasmina.
Yeah.
I love that. We have to move. And I know it's been some challenges with the gym closures, with the, and I know here in Cali we've had the poor air quality due to all the fires. So that was an issue. So being able to go outside was limited for some people. But find some kind of way in your home and every day commit to saying, I'm going to move.
That's right.
I'm going to keep myself together. COVID is not going to overtake me. I'm coming out stronger.
That's it. So you as an educator, LaNetta, what are some tips and ways and things you could do? Because kids have to be in the house most of the time. Of course,
Yes.
now with the fires, it's a little bit different. But what are some suggestions you would have for us to do with our kids?
You know what? Get food and find a good exercise with children.
Okay.
They are so fun. They're loud. We're able to turn flips in the room, jumping jacks, sit-ups, push-ups, and it's all fun at the same time. You know what I did with my children at my daycare? I actually bought the game Twister.
Oh, yes.
Do you guys remember Twister?
Yes,
I
do.
remember Twister.
Listen, I thumped a little spin. I was like, now left foot red,
Right.
right foot blue. With green.
All
You know,
right.
Love
they
it.
loved it. They were falling on top of each other, and I'm like, wait, don't hurt yourself, because I don't want to get in trouble.
Right.
Right.
but they had so much fun. And just having those old school games and pulling them out, and so the children
There
can
you
interact.
go.
It's the best.
There you
Ooh,
go.
I love that. And you know what? That also just reminds me, I love that. That's an amazing example. And scripture even tells us that, to train up a child in the way they should go, right? So
Absolutely.
we need to. We need to train them up. Again, kids do what they see, not what we say.
Come on.
So, if I think back to the beginning of COVID, me saying, you guys have had enough, but I'm eating another cupcake. Really? No. That's not okay.
Right,
Bad
right.
example. Shame on me. That was
right.
that was not the way to say yeah. But you know what? I've transitioned out of that. I had a moment. COVID had just hit. What the heck?
Yes.
But yes, so I like that example. And another point, LaNetta, that I love too was you said make it fun.
Yes.
That's good.
Make
That's
it
key.
fun.
Yeah.
From the personal trainer stand, I'm going to say this. A lot of times people come to you, you have people that, believe it or not, people come to you that don't like working out. Most people
Right.
that come to you don't like it. They're intimidated,
Right.
but they already come saying to you, I don't like doing this. They already come saying this, which is a whole
Yeah.
nother issue which we deal with in the Just Say Yeah community about changing that mindset,
Right.
speaking the right things. But
Absolutely.
they already come with that mindset. But I love, using the word movement and showing these kids having fun things. You're already teaching these kids, this is fun.
Absolutely.
You're already teaching them, get up and move.
That's right.
Yeah.
You're teaching them how to laugh. And they're having fun, blood circulating.
That's right.
That's powerful.
Yes, it is.
It's very powerful.
I love it.
So you have a dancer at home, a college student.
I do.
She's a dancer, which means most of her classes are, and she's a dance major.
Yes.
So how has this process been for her? And you're a dancer, so how has that been for her? How has that been for her transitioning with her classes and with performance? And she's a performance dancer, so how has that been?
Yeah, quite an adjustment. Definitely, she's transitioning. So when you now have this smaller space that she has to move, and when you're talking about dance majors, they're moving. They have a dance studio that that they go to for their classes. So to be now in more of a smaller space has been quite an adjustment. And the fact that now I'm on a video screen, so things are not always synced up exactly for the
Right.
counts. And so for that, it's like she doesn't really care for that, and I know she's not happy about it. She's still doing she's dancing, but it's still not the same.
Absolutely.
So for her, my heart goes out because this is what, dance major, it's what she loves to do. And now that it has been changed in a sense, it's been quite an adjustment for her. But yet they still, they do what they have to do. But my heart goes out to those babies who can't really interact with, performing arts students
Absolutely.
to get in how they really want to. So it's been quite a challenge for her. But she's in there moving. She in those dance classes online.
You as her parent,
Yes.
you just encourage her to keep going regardless. To just
Absolutely.
transition and accept the change.
Absolutely. I mean, you got to think about it for me as a parent, when I went to college, I was already a mother. So I didn't get the chance to stay on campus in the dorms. And for her, this is her opportunity. So I'm kind of living vicariously through her,
Okay.
when she lived on campus. However, she's missing this whole entire sophomore year of being on campus, and living in her dorms. So for her, I'm just like, okay, just keep going. You have to keep going. You can't, even though you're not there, and I know the online adjustment, we got to make this happen because, baby, you got 2 more years to finish. You're going to get that degree.
There it is. You know what?
Let's keep going.
You're living vicariously through her, and
Yeah.
I'm living vicariously through LaNetta Small-Whittle. And
Yes.
My daughter.
Right. Yes.
Man, oh man. But yes, everybody, we encourage you
Encourage,
to
yes.
just keep it moving.
That's
Yeah.
Do
right. Keep
one
going,
small
keep
change
going.
a day.
That's
This
it.
is a tip I have for you. You take
Right.
5 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
5 minutes. What LaNetta said earlier, take that 5 minutes for you.
Yes.
Take
Yep.
that 5 minutes, go sit in your car. If you're not able to go have a car to sit in, that's okay. Go outside by yourself. If you're turn around. If there's a group of people, turn around. So it's just you.
Yes.
If you have to, one of my clients actually in Florida, she's amazing. I love working with her, and
Yes.
she was telling me of her mother-in-law, that what she would do, because I believe her mother-in-law has well, there's a lot of kids. It's over 8, I think. So what she would do is she would get a blanket and put it over her head.
Really?
And so, because there was never, she couldn't get the time by herself.
Got
So
it.
she was able to
Okay.
just go into her place, literally go into her closet, and she just, the kids
That's
were
deep.
right there. And so when she wasn't able to get away, she literally got a blanket and just put the blanket over her head,
Okay.
went into her space, because being able to block it out,
Yes.
release. LaNetta commented on this earlier. Being able to just let it, even if it's 15 minutes, make
Yes.
that 15 minutes count.
Yes,
So even if you
absolutely.
have to put a blanket over your head,
Do what you gotta
do what you gotta do. So you take 5 minutes each day.
It's good.
You pick something. You could sit in a chair and go like this.
Mm.
This.
Moving.
You could go to the front.
And get them
Right.
up.
You could stand up and do it. You could
Come
go
on.
here, press up.
Hey.
Whatever you need to do from the chair. From the
Yeah.
chair. You could do it leg extensions. You can't see my legs, but that's okay.
Yeah.
My point is, you can move. If you, many people, like something like a squat. A lot of people are intimidated by squats.
They're
Wonderful
great.
overall move
Yes, it
for
is.
legs, for glutes. I've done literally thousands of squats in my life.
Yes, you have.
Squats and lunges, oh my gosh.
Yes.
But let me tell you, if you cannot, you sit in a chair and just simply stand up. I want everybody here to understand, everyone that has the ability to walk, that you squat every day.
That's right.
To go to the bathroom,
That's
you
right.
squat
Yep.
every day to sit in a chair. You
Yes.
squat every day to get in a car or on the bus.
Oh.
So everybody here
That's
can
true.
squat.
That's true.
So you can sit down and simply stand up.
Mm.
Sit down and simply stand up. Put on your favorite song.
That's a good one.
And
Ooh.
5
Recommend
minutes.
that. That's it.
And just move. If you start doing that, that'll make a huge difference.
Yeah,
So we're going to go on a little break. When we come
Yes.
back, Shawuana and LaNetta, I gave my little 5-minute tip that,
Okay.
listen, if you do it, I promise you will work. And if it doesn't, you let me know it didn't work, but I'm telling you it did. Did you hear me? It works, and it will work for you.
Absolutely.
And say that it will work. So, you in just a minute.
Carolco, the Valley's leader for no-cost energy upgrades. Now installing AC motors, Nest thermostats, insulation, and more. COVID-19 safe. Call Carolco at 559-396-3939 and visit carolco.net.
With Organic Pastures Raw Milk, you're getting a product that has been meticulously managed from grass to glass. From our pastures to our dairy, creamery, and distribution, we work hard to produce a product that is safe and clean for you.
Clovis Community College may be free for you to attend. Call 325-5239 or visit cloviscollege.edu for details. We offer general education classes for transfer and short-term training programs.
Hey everybody, it's Yasmina of Just Say Yeah, and I am here with Shawuana and LaNetta, and we are talking about transitions and what that means to our health and wellness and the health and wellness of those around us and our loved ones. So right now we're at the part where we're giving some tips on how to get through this. Okay, simple things, because a lot of times people think transitions need to be big, major productions, right? And sometimes they are. But most of the time, they're not. You know, even using what we used before with the butterfly and the fruit, it takes a while for that butterfly to consume itself from that larvae position, and now it's now a butterfly. It takes a while for that piece of fruit to rot, and you got to throw it away because you realize, oh, Lord, I left this in the fruit bowl too long. So it takes a while. Just like a dimmer switch on a wall, transitions can be like that. It's just when you have the dimmer switch, it's slightly transitioning the light from light to dark or dark to light. Glasses, transitions, that's why they call them transitions. You go outside and you were talking to somebody and suddenly they have on sunglasses, but they never ever even took their other glasses. Well, because the glasses transition. So that's what we're doing. So during this last quarter, my tip for you was take 5 minutes. LaNetta talked about being intentional with time.
Yes.
Intentionally take 5 minutes out of your day. Now, if you could take more time, that's beautiful. But even if it's 5 minutes, if you make it count, it'll be like an hour. I mean, it's come on now.
Yeah.
Take your 5 minutes and you're going to on purpose move. You're going to on purpose breathe. You're going to on purpose think right thoughts. You're going to on purpose say positive things.
Yes.
I am me. I am focused. I am capable. I am powerful.
Yes.
So that's what my tip is for you. You do it, you will see your life begin to change like a dimmer switch. LaNetta, tell us, give us a tip or two.
You know what helped me during COVID? I found a bicycle, and I go bike riding with my family.
There it is.
Nice.
When I was a kid, I don't remember, going bike riding being so difficult. But you better stay on that bike.
Yes.
For about 20 minutes, and we'll come home. So through time, we'll be able to do that hour ride.
Yeah.
And then come back.
I
So
love it.
that is like, it's refreshing. You're able to see people. You see more people out there because of the gyms being closed. But
Right.
you're able to see people. You can do that social distance wave, air high five.
Yes.
And you get stuff going.
Exactly.
I love that.
So that's all the folks. If you can't go outside for that bike ride, I would suggest, this is going to be funny, but I would suggest getting a color and crayons. It is so therapeutic.
Coloring book. I
Okay.
love that.
And it's so
Those are
soothing.
nice.
So get an adult. They have adult coloring books
They
out
do.
there.
That's
Adult-
right.
Grab it.
I love that.
You know what? Both
fun.
of those tips are absolutely amazing, and they're absolutely on point. They help you with your physical body. It helps you mentally because you get the right, hormones released in your body, and it helps you just to concentrate and focus and be still.
Yeah.
And so, my mom does that. My mom, she does a lot of different things, but she will get some coloring pencils and she will color.
There you
And
go.
and it's just and calmly, and there you go. Riding the bike, me and Brenna and myself. Well, me and Brenna,
Brenna.
we did that a lot over
Yes.
this transition.
Yes,
We
you guys
rode the
did.
bike a lot, and you're right, LaNetta. It felt so cool. It was like you felt free because in a
Yeah.
time that we're in, we felt we were trapped. So riding
Right.
the bike allowed you to feel free. So thank you for
Yes.
bringing that up. That is
Yeah.
absolutely a good one. Good one.
Yes, it is.
Now, tell us a tip or two.
Yes. Okay. And what I would definitely recommend is for those, if you're at home, wherever you are, kind of take notes. So a little bit of homework. Write down. I want you to get a pen and a paper. I want you to write this down, and find out place where were you at in the beginning of the pandemic,
Okay.
going in. What things at that point when you had to go into it? What happened? Would you say stress was a factor? Did you feel depressed? Were you angry? Where did you find yourself? What key things that you noticed? And I want you to be honest with yourself, because this is going to help you. Write those things down. I began to be more stressed. I isolated myself. I was so depressed. Now, if you're there at that same place right now, write that out. What we want to do is have you write down a few things that's going to help with that. So for stress, what works for you when you're stressed? What are some things? And I know, I know some people eat when they're stressed. That's the reality.
We're not
We don't
doing
want to
that
do that.
anymore.
But what are some Netta said. But what are some things when you're stressed, stressed out? What are some things that help you de-stress? I want you to write those things down. And I want you to be in a good place when you do this. Don't wait until you're stressed and say, I'm going to write this list. I don't want you to do that. When you are having a good day, write these out, because I want you to use those tips that you say, this works for me. When I read, I find myself being less stressed. Write that down. When you're feeling depressed, I can get up and I can, I can look through pictures, or I can watch a certain movie. It'll make me happy. I can talk to a friend over the phone. That's what works for me. Write those things out. What works with you? We consider them mental health like coping skills that helps you with that. Write them out. And then when you find yourself in that place, try to remember that. Even you may want to share this with a family member or friend, because if you've been in a situation, they may be able to remind you too. That way, use those in those moments, because you're going to experience stress again in your lifetime. What works to help you during those moments? It's all a process of making sure you're well mentally and emotionally. So write down those feelings you're having, the coping skill you're going to use to combat that, and put those into action when it happens.
Ooh, I like that. And that was so important what you said, too, about doing this now. So now meaning don't wait. You feel good today, right? It's Saturday. There was no distance learning today.
Right.
Whatever day you feel the best, that's the time to write these down.
Absolutely.
Because that's when you'll think with clarity.
And you're right.
That's when you'll be able to truly know how you feel. We can't go by your feelings now, because feelings will lie to you. They is a lie. They is a lie. So you have to do it when you are on even ground. Do not wait. And I say this to myself till I'm up on a ledge, because we don't need thunder on a ledge. We need to make sure when I'm on level ground, and then things that seemed crazy when I was up here, they don't seem so crazy when I'm on level ground. So I like that. And I like what you said about finding out what we like to do. LaNetta was talking about the coloring and getting the adult coloring books for children, or vice versa. Also, riding bikes.
Yes.
Again, moving. And you talked about reading. I know you are an avid book reader. She reads all the time. And honestly, I understand that, because reading that's my happy place. I love, it's a peaceful place for me, reading.
Yeah.
So those are things that you need to find out because let me tell you what's going to happen.
That's right.
If you don't do it this way, write it down first while you feel good on level ground.
Yes.
You're going to get stressed. You're going to be on this ledge, and you're going to forget what you like. You're going to think you can't take the time, the 5 minutes away to do. You're going to, things are going to seem frantic.
Yes, it will.
Moods are going to change. So it's very important.
Very important.
Learn to celebrate you. And we talk about that all the time. Be thankful, grateful for your accountability partners.
Yes.
People that I can go to these two women, and they will tell me about myself.
Yes.
And truly, because I trust them,
Absolutely.
I listen. These two women, I can go to them and just vent, I guess you could say. And they're the best listeners. So the thing about it is, that's important. That's support. And that's what I'm understanding that you're saying too, when you said to let somebody know.
Support.
So we just wanted to give you a few things to do through life's transitions. We have to remember transitions, good and bad, are scary. But we haven't been given the spirit of fear.
Not at all.
What have we been given instead?
Look, power, love, and of a sound mind.
Sound mind. So, but what do I do, LaNetta, if I'm coming up to a wall and I'm fearful? What do I do?
Slap yourself and get it.
Slap myself and get it together. But it's the truth, and it's funny when she said that. I thought of The Incredibles. And she was slapping her. You're Elastigirl. Come on, remember who you are. So it's okay to have moments. Life, Ecclesiastes tells us there's moments in life, but move forward.
That's right.
Slap yourself and get it together.
That's right.
And it's time we get it together. Let's finish strong, everybody.
Let's do it.
Let's finish strong.
Let's do
2020, yes. So much has happened. So much. Racial injustice, political the climate, the political climate,
Yes.
Pandemic.
the pandemic.
Yes.
So many people have lost loved ones. A lot's happening.
Absolutely.
But we have to
Right.
keep going.
Absolutely.
We cannot stop.
Not at
It's
all.
part of the process. Keep moving forward.
Moving
Absolutely.
forward, y'all.
See, we're going to be back on the first and third Saturday, Act 2. What we're going to talk about, who knows? But we'll be
Here
back.
to talk to you.
We're here to
all.
talk to you
Yes.
and just share our thoughts.
Absolutely.
And we thank you for joining us. Any last
Yeah.
thoughts?
Yes, keep going. Let's finish strong, everybody. 2020.
LaNetta, final thoughts?
Okay, don't yourselves breath and it together.
Wait, say it one more time. It kind of cut out a little.
I said don't slap yourself, but just take a breath and get it together.
Okay, so you're saying to keep it moving no matter what.
Yes, take a deep breath.
Take a breath. Now listen, that breath is everything.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's true.
It
Forget
literally
about that.
is the breath
Yes.
of life.
The breath of life,
So we
that's
thank
right.
you so much for joining us together.
you.
Again, I'm here with LaNetta and Shawuana, and I'm Yasmina, and we're here just to
Yes.
remind you to just say yeah.
It's right.